back again with the one and only Brian Windhorst to engage in the ever so popular MVP debate. But this time we're going to do it dueling pick style. So starting from the bottom of the recent MVP ladder, we got Luka Doncic versus All-Star Game MVP Jason Tatum. Who you got?
This is a tough one, Cass, and I might have a different opinion on it at the end of the season than I do now. But because Tatum is having such a great season, let's go! Plays both ends of the court, and his team's had the best record in the NBA since October, I got to go Jason Tatum in a close one here.
Ah, man, I know. And it could be different. I mean, Luka has that whole narrative of he's carried so much on his shoulders. We'll see how that changes with Kyrie Irving back in the mix. But Jason Tatum is almost underrated in the MVP conversation.
Stay calm. Stay calm.
Because of the overall success of the Celtics. But, I'm not mad at that pick at all. So we have Jason Tatum now up against two-time runner-up Joel Embiid. So who you going with?
Well, look, I'm a huge Embiid supporter. I voted for him for MVP last year, and I don't take it back. How about that?
Catch me outside. How about that?
And he's having an absolutely spectacular season. The 76ers have the hardest schedule left on out of any team in the league.
Every year.
So I will tell you that with that understanding, if Joel Embiid keeps playing at an MVP level, he's only going to get more attention for it because the games are going to get harder. Long story short, Joel Embiid still in the front of my ballot.
High risk, high reward. You and me both voted for Embiid last year, and I don't take it back either. He has talked about how he's been beat up all season and how, he almost didn't want to participate in All-Star Weekend. So we'll see if those injuries start to pile up because he told me, it's about staying healthy and avoiding a freak accident because he's looking for, winning the championship and not focused on MVP. But we will see. And he's always focused on the MVP, but that's a different conversation. Let's put Joel Embiid up against Giannis Antetokounmpo, two-time MVP. Who you going with there?
I'm a little bit worried about Giannis's recent wrist injury and if that'll cost him a lot of time and that could set him aside. But for right now, I think that Giannis's two-way performance, both ends of the court, this year has been absolutely spectacular. He is having one of the most efficient seasons of his career. Even though his free throw shooting has been down a little bit, he's been relentlessly attacking the rim.
Giannis! Stay in front of that.
Just absolutely using all of his skills while being an absolute beast at the defensive end. I love Milwaukee's chances to win the whole thing if everybody's healthy. So I love Giannis as an MVP candidate, and he gets my nod here.
Wow, so you like the Bucks to come out of the East?
See.
Let's go to the West. The current team who leads the West in the Denver Nuggets and the reigning two-time MVP, Nikola Jokic, up against Giannis Antetokounmpo. Who you got?
Jokic is having the best statistically of his 3 years, the two MVP years and this year, averaging a triple-double. His team is leading the West. There is no profile in the modern, last few years that fits the better definition of an MVP than what Jokic is doing this year. But I am so impressed with Giannis and so impressed with the defensive end where I don't think Jokic is quite there. I am leaning towards Giannis.
Man, it's a blessing.
And it is not an indictment of Jokic and how great he's been. I think we're in a slightly statistically inflated era, so his triple-double average is not quite as equal as Westbrook's. I don't mean to put it down, but I have Giannis by a nose, but a lot of time left to decide, and I'm in the minority, Cass. A lot of people think that Jokic is winning his third.
Either way, if it's Jokic or Giannis, he would join Moses Malone, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson, the players in NBA history that have won 3 MVPs. So we will see. There is a lot of people, Tim Bontemps' recent straw poll also had Nikola Jokic as the MVP frontrunner, but we still have, the home stretch of the regular season to sort things out, and some players on some different teams as well. That West is very hard. So we will see how it all plays out. Thank you for playing Dueling Picks, MVP style, Brian Windhorst.
Roz Goldenwood here with Young Masuk and George Sedano. We are about to play a game of Max, Trade, Wave in honor of the MVP race. We are coming to you with 3 big men that bring international flair and are obviously MVP candidates. Now, I know you're going to say you would never trade or waive these players. They're so good. All right, don't be so serious. We're just playing a game.
Why so serious?
George, are you with this? Are you okay with this kind of interesting scenario?
Roz, this is the 3rd time I've played this game, and I'm glad you couched the conversation because I feel like I always have to do it because I'm gonna see one of these dudes and they're gonna be like, yo, I saw you on Crosscourt. Why'd you wave me?
Actually, we know that Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid, they all are big avid fans of our show. So hi guys, if you're watching.
Only the real ones are here.
Okay, no pressure on, but if they were watching, who are you gonna max, trade, and waive?
Okay, for the record, this game is like torture, okay? I don't know, George, Roz, if you ever saw the movie The Good Son, but it feels like the ending of that movie, spoiler alert, that's when a mom has to pick between her 2 kids, and basically one is her son and one is kind of like her good son, I guess, and she's hanging them on a cliff and she's got to let one go because she only got enough strength to pull one up, okay? So I feel like, and remember, do not get on me because I am forced to have to make a decision here. I'm going to max Nikola Jokic. And the reason why is Jokic has never, first of all, availability. Jokic has never played less than 72 games in his career. I get it. He's also the back-to-back MVP, working on a 3rd straight MVP. Jokic's season, as of this taping, was averaging 25.1 points per game, 11.1 rebounds, 10.0 assists. That's a triple-double, with the Nuggets being in first in Denver, and Denver first in the Western Conference. He's about to turn 28. He is in his prime. I'm going to max Nikola Jokic for those reasons. I'm going to trade Giannis here, Roz. I can't believe I'm saying this.
I hope this many people also would win a championship.
He's 28 years old, in his prime. Obviously, still a guy that you want to build a team around. A champion, knows how to win. He has everything you want in a player who every time out wants to win the game. He wants to win every game, beat everybody in front of him, and get better. But I am forced to trade Giannis, which then leaves me with waiving Joel Embiid, which I can't even believe I just uttered those words, Roz. 2nd straight season averaging 30 or more points. To me, it's the availability that it came down to between these 3 guys. He's yet to play more than 68 games in the season, Roz. So that's why I would ultimately end up waiving Embiid, and he turns 29 in March, even though he can still turn that narrative around.
I kind of hold grudges.
George.
Man, Roz, why do you guys always do this to us? All right, so I'm going to agree with Ohm. Big fella, Embiid, I'm sorry. The greatest ability is availability. And based on when we compare it to the other 2 dudes, unfortunately, you fall on the short end of the stick. I know that's out of your control in a lot of cases, but I got to look at this as a general manager. So I'm a wave Embiid, and I too cannot believe I uttered that sentence. Okay, so we'll start there. Now, I'm going to trade Jokic because I feel like he's going to be the 3-time MVP. If I had a vote, he would be the 3-time MVP. And you're like, wait a second, why wouldn't you max the guy who's going to be the 3-time MVP? Because I'm going to be a shrewd GM, Roz, and I'm going to say 3-time MVP, only Larry Bird, only Wilt Chamberlain, only Bill Russell have done that. You know what that means? Maximum value if I trade him. Somebody's giving me the house, okay? The farm, all of it. They're gonna give me all the, I don't need to estate plan anymore because they're gonna give me everything.
I mean, you gotta trust the process. I think it's time for you to trust the process.
For Nikola Jokic in that scenario, okay? For all the reasons that Ohm outlined. And then lastly, I'm gonna max Giannis because he's the Greek freak. We've never seen anything, I think, like him in his body with his ability and his skill set. So I'm still going to max Giannis at this stage. Those are the 3 that I'm going to max, trade, and waive.
Okay, guys, I know it was a wacky scenario, but thank you as always for playing.
You got
The
it.
creativity was crazy.